Greetings and welcome. I'm Dugout Man and this is my grassroots series. We're aiming to take a tier 10 side with no reputation in Sandbach United to glory. And so far when we left last time we were top of the league, 3 points clear and goal difference in the bag. But sadly the wheels came off a little bit, and it's probably, to be honest, a little bit my fault, so you could probably blame me for it. But as promised, we said we'd come back for the Longridge game. We'd then play Nelson as well, who are the team above us. If we win that game and this game, obviously, we should be back at the top again, but it's certainly not guaranteed, whatever way we look at it. But if we go to our fixtures and show you what you've missed, the first game we played against Skelmersdale. Now, when we were here last time, we all saw that we had a new tactic and it was working fantastic. But I was a little bit worried about my wingers getting a little bit frustrated at not playing, and I really wanted to play them a bit. So as you can see, I played a 4-4-2, as we have been before now. It was getting a little bit inconsistent, and to be honest, it didn't work too well in this game either. As we load up the goals, then I'll show you what happened in the game. So we played the entire of the first half, and Skelmersdale completely outplayed us. I think they had something like 9 shots to our 2, and we were really poor in the first half. So I changed in the second half to our tactic that has been working. We didn't have all the key players in the right positions, and sadly straight into the second half, and we conceded that goal from a free kick, which is pretty usual for us. But we just didn't even really create the chances to get ourselves back in it. We did score a goal, it was disallowed, but yeah, so it was a disappointing defeat against Skelmersdale, mid-table side. Then we came to the game against Rylands, so I thought I'd play the same tactic again, but I was a little bit worried about their 4-3-3 tactic, and I was proven right when I did so. We certainly played better in this game, and perhaps should have been able to take something from the game, but defensively, we were awful. Wainwright had 2 players on him there and still managed to win the header. Then you got this ball coming, and to be honest, I mean, for Doyle that was an amazing strike. And when we were chucking the kitchen sink at them to try and give us a real hope, Wainwright came with another absolutely brilliant finish. We did play much better in the game, but the defeat was far, far worse, and I was a little bit flustered by this point. But thankfully we came up against one of the teams right at the bottom of the league. It helped to get us our confidence back a little bit. We completely outplayed them. They were never really in the game. Most of the shots that they had were after they were 3-0 down anyway. So what happened in this particular game? Smith got the ball, pulled it back, and what a beautiful finish from Binns. One would like to say top bins. Anderson with a long ball, which Smith again picks up, runs, does what he does best in one-on-one situations and slots it home. That's in the 89th minute. It wasn't all plain sailing. Holroyd and Berry, and a great ball in. Smith, good control, and slots it home. And that was 3-0, and that just confirmed the domination that we'd really shown in that match. But yeah, I was just thankful for the win because it keeps us in the running for the league. But it does make life a little bit more awkward for us. So the only change I'm going to make from that game, I want to give Liptrot a good game. And actually, no, I think I'll leave it. I was thinking about making him a deep line playmaker, but so we got Can, Earl, Ellis, Anderson, Brogan. Anderson's been playing really well for us. He's made quite a difference. Liptrop, Berry, Osterfield, and Binns, Haynes, and Smith. Now, what I might do is, there's one guy who hasn't had a chance recently, but he has been playing really well. Tom Griffiths, we'll have him on the bench, and if needed, we'll bring him on. But these guys are the ones who are responsible. It's a difficult game against a team just below us in the league, and we need to try and get ourselves back on the top of the league before the Nelson game, if possible. So we're coming up against a 4-4-2 again. I think does seem to work well against a 4-4-2, but we are against one of the better quality sides as well. So this will be a real absolute test for the tactic that we've been using. I've noticed already that Winsford are losing to Nelson, which is a bad start for us. And I think there hasn't been many chances, so I'm going to demand more, but what shots there have been to us. So that is something that we can be pleased with. I'm hoping we do actually get some highlights in this game, because otherwise it'll be a pretty boring game. So the first highlight of the game, is it going to fall to Longbridge? They've got men over on this side. He's only got to find a free. There's a man free in the middle. There he is. Oh, and what a save from Cam. That could have been disaster for us. So the first highlight of the game, and it's all Longbridge on the highlights front at the moment. Another corner to come in. Cam is quite literally keeping us in it as we survive the pressure. So I'm going to drop us back to balanced, just because I don't know which way this game's going at the moment. We started off well in terms of our shots, but we haven't created anything clear cut, and Longbridge have definitely been doing that to the latter end of the half. So I'm going to try and sort of like boost them up by telling them they're not good enough at the moment and that they need to do better. It may work, it may not. As Earl picks up the ball, and Berry dwindling on the ball, a bit too long for my liking here. But Earl has got space on the wing and has crossed it in. There were two defenders on one attacker. In a previous game, that was the case in the opposite end and we lost out, but not this time. But the ball's coming to Haynes, who heads it in. And Sonny Haynes, this back end of the season, has gone from being an absolute donkey to our wonder scorer, goal after goal. 4 goals in a game, and he's continued his scoring form here today. Binns with a beautiful cross and flicked on at the near post. Good goal. So as we reach the hour mark, as I like to do, we're going to bring on some fresh legs. Lipchop's had his chance today and he's not done very well at all. So we'll let Mellon have a go, and Tom Griffiths can come and have a go for Osterfield. And we'll see if the young lad can continue the influence that he's had in his previous games. Longbridge look to be on the tap now. I'm a little bit worried, but Mellon picks it up, finds Berry, who runs with the ball. Runs, and he's made acres of space up, and he's still going in. He's threaded Haynes through, who squares it to Smith. Dan Smith. I'm just wondering if that... No, it's not. I thought it was going to be his landmark 30th goal of the season, which would have been brilliant for him, but I think he's one short of it now. I think he just needs one more goal to get 30 for the season. But it was a superb play. Unselfish from Berry. Even more unselfish from Haynes, and Smith knew it was where it was going, so he slid, and he was already sliding when the ball came to his path and slotted it into the open goal. So Longbridge are really struggling now. 20 minutes to turn this around. This could be a major turn up for the Bucks in our league. It could make it a 2-horse race, I think. As Lambert has the ball and he plays it back to his keeper. Binns wins a header. Griffiths with a good pass. I think Haynes is offside here. I've noticed he's got an injury as well. We're going to just check on that. Doesn't look too bad, but I do want to give Chris Holroyd a bit of playing time, especially if Sonny Haynes is not going to be available for the next match. We're going to need Holroyd to be up to speed. So we'll let him have the last 15 minutes of this game. As Earl picks up the ball, throws it to Mellon, and then sends it forward for Holroyd, who has to put the defender under pressure. Winters. Ellis wins it back, does well, finds Holroyd, who gets fouled by Poole, who's already been booked, and he can go and have an early bath. He'd obviously had enough of this game. Hopefully now that will just make it certain that we have won this game. Jamie Poole getting sent off in the 82nd minute, and there isn't another highlight after that. Well, there is another highlight, just to prove me wrong. Holroyd. A great ball in. Dan Smith. And, oh, I can't believe that did not go in. And still with a minute to go. This time it's Longbridge who put the ball into the box. Brogan kicks it out for a corner. I do not like defending set pieces. My heart's in my mouth the whole time. We've got a foul, that'll do. That should be it now. Can will take the kick to Brogan. Plays it forward. Dan Smith controls it, skins his man. Keeps going, and that will do. As they clear it away, it's full time. 2-0 to Sandbach United against Longbridge. They're going to be passionately, I'm very pleased with that performance because it was such a difficult team, such a big game. The only game that's going to be bigger is the very next one. And so I decided what the format would be for this run-in of 4 games for the end of the season. We're going to play these 2 games. These are the biggest 2 games of the season in this episode, with all the highlights that I've already shown you. And then we'll do the final 2 and the end of season review all at the same time, and just try and sort of ascertain what will be happening next. Because obviously, even if we lost the next one, then it's probably virtually gone. But if we got a draw against Nelson, it's still game on. But at the moment, we're 3 points behind them. We need to beat them in this next game. But they've found some real form, probably at the worst time possible for us, because we obviously blew what good form we were in. So as you guys wait for about 10 seconds, I'll play through till the next game against Nelson, and we know everybody's looking forward to it. So as you can see, we've had to bring Holroyd in for Sonny Haynes, who's injured. He's probably out, certainly for this game and possibly the next as well. Hopefully he'll be back for the last game of the season. So Holroyd will come in with Dan Smith. I was just looking to see whether we wanted to change his role a little bit, but actually I think we'll keep it as it is. And Griffiths, I've given him the opportunity to play as a central advanced playmaker. And Mellon has come in as ball-winning midfielder, so just wanted to check the energy of the defenders. I think we're alright. So can Earl, Ellis, Anderson and Brogan make the same defence that kept the clean sheet against Longbridge? Then we've got Mellon as the sole midfielder, with Berry, Griffiths and Binns sitting behind the 2 strikers, Holroyd and Smith. So let's see how we go against Nelson, who are going to play 4-4-2 as well, so hopefully we can just turn these guys over and make it a really interesting finish to the league. So I'm genuinely nervous about this match because this is probably the most important match that we've had so far. And the first highlight is one of those highlights which we used to conceding from, and thankfully we didn't concede. So early doors, there's not much happening. I think we'll drop back to balanced again. May have done it a little bit too late, as Nelson looked like they're having another opportunity. Good header out, and Mellon wins it, hoofs it forward to Smith. It's 2-on-2, and he's found Holroyd, who has hit it wide. He just needed to play it back to Dan Smith, and he was clean through. A little bit of lack of composure there from Holroyd. He's not the fastest of players, that is his biggest issue. But again, we're starting with another attack. Oh, and that was very close from Nelson. I am a little bit concerned here. They're getting chance after chance now, after we had that one. And it's blocked. It's not over yet though. Thomas doesn't quite get it swung in, gets another chance, doesn't get it swung in again. I'm worried about the 25-yard screamer here, but Dutton K has got plenty of people to aim for. He's pulled it back. Brilliant play, and that is bad news. Oh, what to do? So we'll shout at them that they've got to do better, because we're not in the game at the moment. We've had that one chance and they've had 3 or 4 chances that have been highlights. So Dan Smith bringing it forward. It's a poor effort from Dan Smith. Straight at the defender, stood right in front of him. This is going to be clean through, on the goal. Can, great save. Oh, my heart was in my mouth then, but it's another corner. Just cannot stand watching us defend against free kicks and set pieces. Can collects the ball, and not too impressed with that clearance. So we've run all the way to half time. We're seriously struggling here. So we'll do the team talk and tell them that we're not happy. Show me something else in the second half. We need to play a higher tempo, much more direct. Let's try regrouping when we lose possession. Stretch out the defence a little bit. We're already low. Do we push it forward and use an offside trap? Really get stuck into them. Hopefully we won't get a player sent off. It's an important match and we've got to turn something here. So we'll keep the same team though. Whilst we're not playing well, there's nobody really playing totally to the point where we don't want them on the pitch. Earl, Berry. The ball's crossed in. Smith in space. And there it is. That is his 30th goal. I'm convinced of it. It's his 50th goal for Sandbach United, apparently. But it was a great finish. Great header from some way out into the corner of the goal. And they've got off to a good start in the second half. Let's hope that we can do it again. We can see it's onside by a mile. What are you worried about? So Miles Anderson has picked up a yellow card. Earl is looking a little bit tired. Griffiths with the corner. Now a draw wouldn't be the worst result in the world, but it isn't, it isn't going to get us to the top of the league. We'll be dependent then on Nelson screwing up one of our other games. So we've got to be hopeful of grabbing another goal. Berry. Griffiths. Back to Berry. Back to Griffiths. Binns. Oh, I thought that was going in. Thought it was another top Binns. Time's beginning to tick away and it's time to look at our bench to see where we think we need to. Tom Griffiths has not been very impressive. Vincenti can come and have a game. And do we make another change? Let's take Anderson off for Jack Taylor. And we'll leave it at that. And Burgess with a free kick. It's gone straight to Can, who has hoofed it away, which wasn't the brightest thing to do. He could have just grabbed hold of it. But they have given it away. Berry, it's 3 on 3, 4 on 3. Vincenti nearly falls over the ball. Plays it towards Dan Smith. The keeper will collect it though. I was getting all excited. Berry to Holroyd, who plays it out to Earl on the overlap. Cross towards Smith. The keeper picks it up. And I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but I am going to just try something different in the tactics. We're going to bring Vincenti back a little bit as a deep line playmaker on support and see whether we can get any progress with a change of formation. But it may be too late because we've got ourselves going backwards again. Walker, Loafer with a long shot. He can do them all day if he's got to shoot like that. So Mellon to Cam. Finds Earl. Can they bring it out? It's a long ball forward. and we've lost out, and it looks like they're going to come at us again. I'm loving the pressing that the guys are doing. It's forcing the mistake, but Earl has made a classic mistake there, and this is a goal. You could, I thought it was going in. I'd given up on the game. But fortunately, Can was equal to it, but it was a very poor shot, really. That should have been the winner for Nelson. And now, we've got to go for this. I've just noticed they've gone to 4-3-3. This could be the biggest tactical disaster ever. Here we go, in the last seconds of the game. Vincenti, poor shot. Smith, Vincenti, Taylor. Ellis lumps it forward. Holroyd's there. I think he was offside anyway, but they're coming straight down the other end. Great tackle from Taylor. Match-saving tackle. Brogan. I tell you what, both teams have gone for this. Smith. Berry. He's clean through. Berry. Oh, I was celebrating and everything. If you'd have had the camera on me, you wouldn't have seen me because I would have been jumping around the room. I thought it was going in. But surely that was the last chance of the game. The highlights rolls on. I mean, this has been a top of the table clash to savour, and Holroyd's offside. Surely that is it. And I think Nelson will be the happier of the two teams. It's got to be said. Surely that's full-time, ref. Yeah. So 1-1. It's disappointing. We go into the next episode still with a chance of winning it, but it was unfortunate, and you can't criticise the lads for that. You were unlucky tonight. I don't know what they're on about salvaging a draw. I thought we could have won that game quite easily in the end. So that's the league table at the end of that game. I think we're virtually assured of second place, but second place has got no prize. We needed to be beating Nelson so that we would have been sitting pretty at the top of the league, but they've got to lose now for us to win the league. They could draw and win, and that would be enough for them. We've got to win both of our games, obviously. So yeah, looking forward to the next two games, which are against Earlham and Avro. Certainly one of those games we should be winning. The other one, mind you, Earlham are 5th. I didn't realise how high up the league they were. Avro are 9th in the league now. They were the top team for quite a while. We'll see how we go in those two games. If you like what you've seen, click the like, click the subscribe, send me a message, and hopefully, as we come into the final episode of this season, it won't be the bottle job that it's turned into, but actually, perhaps we can claw back and win this final 2 games of the season and top the table and progress into because we certainly don't want to be getting stuck in the lower leagues. I suspect this is going to be one of the hardest leagues to get out of, to be honest, because of just one team going up. Did want to just point out it was the 30th goal in 41 appearances with class of subs. For Dan Smith, he's had a fantastic season, 7.47 average rating. You can't fault the lad. They reckon he's 2.5 and a fringe player, but he's much better than that. He's done fantastic for us, and I think he's just going to keep going, maybe even into the next league, should we get promoted. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you with the next video shortly.